Welcome students to the class of Foundation of Data Analytics. Actually, this lecture I was supposed to upload 2 days before by Saturday, but due to some reason it becomes a little bit a delay to go with this lecture. Now, in this lecture series on Foundation of Data Analytics, I'm going to cover the syllabus recommended for first year engineering for artificial intelligence, computer science, information technology, data science, cyber security, and all ICT. Even this is common to all our GH Raisoni College of Engineering and Management syllabus, and the same syllabus or maybe the points are possibly in the different syllabus of different universities. So let's start with the subject on this foundation of data analytics, or actually this is a complete lecture series on data science. I'm not just going to stop for the syllabus that we are actually seeing here. We are also going beyond this syllabus. We are going to include in the lecture series the concept, the mathematical core, and after that, even the some exercises like in practical exercises using Excel, using Python, using R, and using other computing languages which are used for the data science purpose popularly. So Python and R are very popular, but the basis for this data science and data analytics starts with Excel. So we are going to detail out the Excel also here. So now let's see what is the syllabus. Okay, so syllabus here, if you see the syllabus uh, of the subject, it is literally the syllabus here, that you are on the unit number 1, which talks about the buzzwords of the data science. Okay, then infographic representation of terminologies of the data science or data analytics. Then you are going for the difference between analysis and analytics, and what are the different applications of the data science, basically of the data analytics. Okay, is the first part. The second unit covers the descriptive statistics or descriptive data analysis, and not the complete descriptive, but certain points in that: what is population, what is sample, what is type of data, what are the measurement levels, what of the data, what are the representation of categorical variables, measures of central tendency of data like mean, median, mode, skewness, and rest of the things. Then we are going to see inferential statistics, distribution, normal distribution, standard normal distribution, and other details of these inferential statistics. And after that, we are going with a linear regression, introduction to linear regression, which is an extension of this inferential statistics, where we go for the predictive, what you can say, data analysis. And the unit number 5 is logistic regression, where, we go on doing this logistic regression, its concepts and things. And following books are recommended by the syllabus sector: The Art of Statistics, Learning from Data, and then Book of Statistics, then Statistic 101, and Introduction to Science and like this. And these are the few what was the practical list, a name of the experiment. These are the tentative, that is these experiments we have to cover in the subject, and we are going to see one by one all these things. So let's start with this unit number 1, foundation of data analytics, and we are going to see the first point in unit number 1, that is on data, information, knowledge, and buzzwords of data science. So if we go with the presentation thing, so this is what foundation of data analytics we say. So let's see what is there. Okay, here. So first thing, before starting the lecture, I am requesting you all to subscribe to my YouTube channel Tutor S Rumale, and also asking you for lateral learning obviously, and also asking you or requesting you to ask your friends, colleagues, and whoever in the engineering or interested in data science and artificial intelligence, computer science, engineering, computer programming are like this, to visit my channel and to watch the videos as much as possible and suggest me the topics that I may not have covered properly, and likewise, or if you want some new topics to what you can say discuss or elaborate on the channel, then we can go through that. So let's see now with the data. What is data? So obviously data is not the information. Okay. Many time what happens, the people in the data science, even the lecturers and mentors like me, they used to give in conversation that data is raw information or something, but it is not true. There is no such thing in existence which can be called as a raw information. Data can be raw, but information can't be. Okay. So what is data then? So by definition, if you go by the definition, let me select here the comment first, so that while giving let me say this uh, lecture, I can show you the details. Now, what is this data? Okay. So by definition, what is data? Data is not information. That fixed. So we have to first define what is data. So data is the observatory recordings. Okay. So whenever we observe any object or any phenomena, any event, we record certain features and functionalities of and the effect of that object and everything on the other universe and on object itself. So it actually gives the description of that object. So data are or data is, because data singular and plural in essence, are the observatory recordings of the features or attributes or dimensions. So when you say feature, when you say attribute, or when you say dimension, you are talking about the same thing. Okay, that is one aspect of that object or an event or a phenomena. Okay, and functions of an object or a phenomena with respect to rest of the universe. So when you say with respect to rest of the universe, let's see what exactly it means. Say here we are having a universe. This is the complete universe. Universe means all the data that is available here. So you are having this data available, complete data. Let's consider this universe. And in this universe, you are having this particular object. Now, when we say that this object has a particular shape, that shape actually makes this object stand out from the this rest of the universe. Okay, this universe, from this universe, this object is making, these dimensions are making stand out from the rest of the universe. So you can say, okay, it is circular in shape, means it has certain limits and likewise, and that is what you see data. So circular is a one feature. It may have the color and like this. So basically, data is what the exploratory observations recorded regarding attributes and operations of any object, phenomena or event, what we can call, with respect to rest of the universe, because no object exists without the other universe. Okay, it is exists inside the universe, and so whatever we are recording, our recording is with respect to the universe. Now for example, uh, again let's see, here we are having this object and this is the universe. Okay, so this object have circular shape. Okay, and this circular shape makes this object stand out from this universe, from the universe. So we can say, if I say only circular, what you come to know? Nothing, because circular means anything. There are many objects which are circular in shape. Okay, so you have to go with the other feature, other dimension of that object, and so we require to go through the different features or objects. Now with this we can say that data is not information, because singularly or standalone, no data is capable of describing an object or a phenomenon. any object or phenomena is not describable using a single data, and if that single singularly data describes that object, we can call that data not as a data but information, not as a data but information. Now let's see what is data once again. So identify these following unknown objects. Here we are having this drawing, these photos of some unknown objects. Okay, we don't know what these objects are exactly. So what our observation or your observations are here. So you will see first thing, that is color. Yeah. Okay, choose here the typewriter instead of so what you will see here, you will see here what, the color. So first object that you see here, okay, first thing that you see here is color. Color is seen. It's too small to read, so let's make it a little bit bigger font size, and we need to make this as 20. Okay. So first object that you are seeing is color. Then what you see, okay, is how something, what we call this color, then we see there is a cylindrical in shape, so we can say cylindrical. Cylindrical. Then you say, okay, it is handy, that is we are seeing the size. Okay, and then you say function. Okay, function is what? So your say color is there, cylindrical is there, handy is there, function is there. It's right. Okay, or we can say writable. Okay. Now, when you see, you find the n numbers. Here we are in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So you will count it. Okay, so you will see the count. What is the count is 0, 7. Okay, but and what you will detect from this? Okay, you will say there are 7 unknown objects. Okay, there are 7 unknown unknown objects of similar or same type. How do you say here same type with features, okay, like, and you go on listing the features of this object. That object have the color, object have cylindrical shape, objects are handy, that you can handle it very easily using it, and this object can be used, this object can be used, this object can leave their mark when we rub it against some surface. This is what you detected. So if you go standalone, singularly, okay, your observations are not sufficient to describe the entire object. Means if I say cylindrical, I am still not getting anything. Even if you mention the color, pink, yellow, blue, purple, white, blue, and some magenta, I am not going to get anything. I am just getting what the name of the colors. Okay, that not giving me anything. Now standalone or singularly, your observation are not sufficient to describe the entire object. So you are just having what? The observation. Such observation which is directly taken by you is called as a primary observation, and such observation also called as a primary data. This observatory recording is called as primary data, and this is what we call as a raw data. This is what we call as a raw data. So first thing, clear, the data is observatory recording and it is not an information. Okay, so if someone says what is data, data is observations or observatory recordings of the facts regard of some object or some phenomena, but this data is not the information. It can't be information unless and until you won't group all the attributes and operations together. Now let's see what is information. Okay, I'm just saving this. What is information, that we are going to see. So Before that, we have to go with this type of data. Now, what is type of data? Types of data is that primary or secondary. Here, this data when collected is primary data. Okay. Now, secondary data is data. Means say suppose you saw this object and you saw this object and you met your friend and you told your friend, oh my dear friend, I saw some unknown object, color white, uh, cylindrical shape, handy, and when we rub it on a stone, it left some marks there. It left some marks there. That is what we call as right now, writing. So your friend will know, okay, what object? Your friend will ask, what object? Because color, cylindrical, handy, and these are the attributes or dimensions or features, and then function is there. So you will say an object. Okay, there are total 7 objects of same type. Okay, now this object is there. You are calling it object. Your friend will call it by some other name. So this type of data is called as a primary data. This called data when you are observing data. But when you tell this to your friend, now your friend also come to know that there exists some object which are having particular type of uh, uh, features and function. Then it is called as a secondary data. Means data which is coming from some other person to you is called as a secondary data. So data is structured and data may be unstructured. Unstructured data, the data that are or observations are there, but it is not yet structured. So we call it as an unstructured or raw data. Organized data is always structured. So you know in a way that this is the organized data. So you know there is a color, shape, and everything. So you actually classify this data in a similar type, and for every type or for every feature you give a particular name. So you know that color red, white, blue. This is a structured one. So you have the data which is in a structured way. So for example, if we go with this here, let's see typewriter. Here we are having color. Okay, we are having shape. Here you are having size. These are the name given to the features, and then you are having function. Or is ability. This is a function of that particular feature. Here you will say color is red. Okay, and then after this color you are giving the shape. Your shape is cylindrical. Okay, cylindrical. Then you are saying function. Okay, size is handy. Handy means you can handle it very easily. You say function. Okay, left mark on rubbing. So when you are rubbing against some this object is there, okay, and obviously here you are having what for this the name, okay. So name is what? Name is your unknown object, okay. So let's say unknown object stands for UO1, okay. You say unknown object, and after that you are seeing quantity, okay, QT1. So when you say quantity and here you are saying quantity 1. So you are having unknown object 1, color red, cylindrical, handy, left mark on rubbing, and quantity is 1. Now if the above things, this name, color, shape, size, function, quantity, these titles are not given to this object, what we call this as raw data. When we give this name to the feature, we call it as a organized data, but it's still not the information. It's still not the information. It is still the raw data. This is simply the organized data. Okay. Now this data may be univariate, data may be bivariate, data may be multivariate. Now what is univariate, bivariate, and multivariate? So here you are having a equals to 1. Okay, here we are having this a equal to 1. So this is a is what? A variable, the name given to this, and it only contains single value. It only contains single value. So you say a equal to is a univariate. Okay. Now there may exist some point like say b, which is actually having two variable. Okay. So x and y. These are the two variables. Now for this x and y, b is some point which is denoted by two variables. So let's say suppose if I say such that, okay, that x equals to 3 and y equals to 4, okay, then b equals to what we call this as a 3 by 4. So this is bivariate. There are two variables and the bivariate data is actually shows the relationship between two variables. So it is a third point. Okay, that is bivariate data. In the same way, you can have a multivariate data. That is here you may have some C which is equals to say x comma y comma z comma d comma f comma g, and you got multiple things. So wherever these variables have different values, the C position changes. So C is the multivariate data. So here we got multivariate data. Now no matter what, these are the primary type of data. Primary type of data means primary or secondary or primary type of data, raw or organized, univariate, bivariate or multivariate. These data again have the two different types. One is called as a categorical or usually non-computable data. Categorical data are the word data and are also called as a qualitative data where describe the things. Okay, for example, color blue is a qualitative data or categorical data. Quantitative or numerical or computable data is there. For example, here we are having the quantity 1, that is a quantitative data. It shows the quantity. It is a numerical. You can say 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. Okay, so that is computable. Mathematical operations are what you can say eligible for this competitive data, quantitative data. Okay, now qualitative or categorical data is of two types. One is called as a nominal data, another is called as ordinal data. Take an example for this. Say suppose you are in some classroom and the classroom is known by division A. Then the roll numbers given like A1, A2, A3, A4, they are not computable. You can't say that A1 plus A2 equal to some A3. No, not possible. But they are in order. So whenever you have such type of order, we call that data which is of type categorical as ordinal data. But let's say suppose for this A1 you are having the name Sachin. Okay. Say for A2 you are having the name say Krishna. Okay, for A3 you are having the name, let's say Suchi, okay, or Suchita. So when you are having such names, we call these are the nominal data. These called as a nominal data. Okay, if you go by the dictionary, we can still order this data in a way that is again, but in that case, the A1, A2, A3, they are related with this, they get dispersed somewhere. So these data are nominal data. Your home address, a description, pink, red, blue, yellow, colors, these are the nominal data. They are not ordinal. Okay. So these are the two data types here. We are in the nominal data without any order or hierarchy. Okay, and ordinal are data which has some order or hierarchy. So roll call, ratings, these are the ordinal data, and eye color, name or description of something is called as a nominal data. Now comes the quantitative or numerical or computable data. So these computable data are of two types. One is called as discrete data. It's data with single numeric value, and usually discrete data is non-computable. Usually, that doesn't mean that they are not computable at all. They are computable in some cases, but usually discrete data is non-computable. For example, shoe size 7. You can't say the 7 plus 7 is 14. That is not the shoe size. Okay, because 14, the 8, 9, 10, these shoe sizes are computed in a different way, but you can't do the addition of that. That's why this is called a discrete value. Okay, so these are the discrete data. Continuous data is generally the range data or a ratio data. That means say 1 to 10. When I say time, time is the continuous data which go from the 0 to 24 p.m. Okay, 0 to 24 p.m., or if you go within a 12-hour system, then 12 a.m. to 12 p.m. like that. So that is a continuous data. Your age is a continuous data, because when you say age, in past year you may be of age 17 years. Now, right now you are 18 years. In next year you are going to become 19 years old. So it is a continuous data. Okay, your income is continuous data. So these are options, and for this you can do some addition, subtraction, multiplication, and other type of computations of mathematics very easily. So generally continuous data is computable. Okay, and discrete data is easily not computable, but that doesn't mean that it's not completely non-computable. It is computable in certain cases, and even the discrete data is computable in a certain cases when you are in the what do you say, quantitative nature of that data. So this is what the types of data. This is just primary introduction of the types of data. After this, we are going to see what is information. I hope that you got what exactly mean by the data and why data is not information. Okay. So data is not information because it is just an observatory recordings. Data is not information because it is just an observatory recordings of what? It, so it is observatory recordings of, okay. Data is observatory recordings of an object or phenomena or event. Okay, so data is not the information. Now, what is the information? We have the different types of data. Basically, data is of two types: qualitative means descriptive or categorical, and quantitative means numerical or computable. Okay. So, what is information then? We got the data. What is information? So what is information? Information is itself is something where we gather all these observatory recordings together under certain label. So it is a structure as well as an arrangement. It is a structure as well as an arrangement. So an arrangement or structure with some label which encompass the data or the data set and gives some meaning to it by correlating it with an object or phenomena is called as an information. Now let's try to understand this. Let's go to our data here. We are having name, color, shape, size, function, quantity. And for this name we say unknown object 1, color is red, shape is cylindrical, size is handy, and function that it leaves marks on rubbing, and quantity is 1. Now we want to give some name to this, give some name to this or type to this thing. So let's call this as a type. Okay, here you go and you are saying, okay, you are saying after quantity you are saying type of this data. Okay, so type of this data is what you are going to say writing aid. Okay, you are going to say writing aid. So as soon as you say writing aid, you know that this name is not sufficient because there may be different writing aids. Okay, so what you will do, you will delete that name writing aid obviously, and you will go with the another name. And say suppose now English people have given this as a name chalk. So as soon as you say chalk, you know that why to call everything chalk. Let's say that there are chalk 1. So you are seeing instead of now unknown object, as soon as I say chalk, okay, I know that there is a chalk which is color, which red in color, cylindrical in shape, handy, left the marks on rubbing, and quantity is 1. And then this complete arrangement which is in a structure way, okay, generally shown in a table, generally shown in table, a tabular form like this, okay, that we create so this type of table. Okay, this table is having a row, these labels, and here you are having what you can see this thing. So we create the table here like this. Okay, you are having the table like this. Okay. Now this table is having what here? The name, I'm just writing here N. The name is there. Color, you are having this color C. Shape, I'm saying yes. Okay. And for size, I'm saying Z here. Okay. These are the label given. Now you are saying the chalk. Name is what? Chalk. Color is red. Okay. Shape is cylindrical. And you got the complete table. And to this table, okay, you actually nominated with chalk, and to this table you will say, okay, this table contains the information of what you have given the first name or type to this, okay, type. Okay, we have actually given a name to this type, and we say that okay, chalk would be the type, because there may possibility that you can have different writing aids, so you can call this as a writing tools or writing aid. So when I say writing aid, okay, I'm just writing here WA. So type is instead of chalk now writing aid. Type instead of chalk is what? Now writing aid. So here we'll delete this, and we also delete this type, and instead we'll give this table the name. Okay, we give this table the name writing aid. So as soon as we know the writing aid, we know okay, there exists the group of some writing, what you can say, aid, and chalk is one of it. Chalk is one of it, and it has this shape, cylindrical. It may have the colors, different colors. Okay, it must have to be handy, and whenever you rub it against some board or some surface, it's left its marks on it, and quantity may be what do you say, changes. Okay, so when we say data, that is arranged in such a way that it describes or gives meaning to itself and make it stand alone with respect to rest of the universe. So when I say chalk, now I don't require to tell you the color and all that information. Unknown object, I require to tell everything, each feature and function. But as soon as I have given this asymptotic name chalk to this unknown object, I gathered all the features and functions under that particular name. Okay, and then I gathered such things which you can say one object is called as chalk, another is as a pen, and next is a pencil. So I got the three objects of typewriting aid. So I can say that table is there, which is known as a writing aid. Okay, and there you have the chalk, pencil, and likewise. So what we got, we this arrangement actually given what an meaning to that particular object or to that particular phenomena in respect of the rest of the universe, and as soon as this happens we call it as an information. So information singularly or standalone is capable of describing an object or a phenomena. If it is not capable of what do you say, describing object or phenomena, we can't call it as an information, then it is data. Okay, so what is information? It is an arrangement or structure with some label which encompass the data or data set and gives some meaning to it by correlating it with an object or phenomena. It's called as information. So let's see what this means. What is information? When you identify these unknown objects and arrange it just like shown in the table, so some order or structure and data set, and label this data set as a chalk. So we know that chalk or chalks, okay, when you are getting the complete description of that object, because you are actually gathered all the features or dimensions or attributes for this particular name and the function of it. So this label chalk is associated with the data set or that data through an arrangement or a structure, and it gives what information to you now. So it is actually what is information? It is giving you all the data, and so this is an information. So here label chalk describes an object of certain attributes which can be used to write or draw. So this is what, when I say chalk, I get into my brain. If you say only yellow, I get nothing. If you say cylindrical, I get nothing. But as soon as I say chalk, I know that there is a cylindrical object of XYZ color which can be used to write on blackboard or on say some uh, wall or something like that, and that is what we call as an information. So data is not the information. Information is different from data. Now comes the knowledge. Now what is knowledge? Many of us consider information as a knowledge, but no. Knowledge, before going to the slide, I just want to tell my concept of the knowledge before going to text. This I might when actually observe this, I found the knowledge are up to four types. First, I consider as experiential knowledge, the knowledge that we experience. Okay, for example, when I say sugar is sweet, the sweet is what the taste of that sugar, which is a knowledge, but this knowledge is actually experienced by me. Unless and until I won't experience it, I can't know what exactly mean by sweet. And that is the experiential knowledge. Then there is an experimental knowledge. Experimental knowledge sometimes called as a empirical knowledge or research knowledge. Certain knowledges are there which we can acquire through the experiments. For that purpose, we require to do lot of observations. Means we are collecting the data. Then we require to convert that data into the information. And when we convert that data into the information, we have to recheck the validity of that information by repeating that experiment for more than 100 times or say for k times. Okay, when we get the same information from repeating that particular experiment, we say it is as a experimental knowledge, and such knowledge is called also as a research. So experiential, that is we experience ourselves. Experimental, we come to know through experiments, and then we are having the knowledge which are called as a belief or faith. Now, belief or faith are those knowledge which are almost unprovable. Okay, when you believe something, when you believe something, uh, you don't know whether the thing is true or false, whether the thing is really there or not. Okay, that is belief. Faith is always blind. Okay, you don't have a faith which is not blind. So faith is always unprovable. For example, if I write here, I'm just writing this letter. Okay, now just consider that you don't know this letter. So what is this? Because this letter, an asymptotic symbol, now we consider not related with anything. We don't know what exactly it is. Okay, but now consider this is an English letter. Now you will say this is A. But who told you this is A? Obviously, your teacher. Your teacher told you, dear student, this is A, or this is A. This small letter, this symbol is A. But let's consider that your teacher, by mistake, have taught you when you used to be a child that this is A and the small version is A. Then what you will say? Obviously, for the above, you will say it is B, but it's not. Teacher haven't told you that the above symbol is B. Okay, teacher only said that this symbol is A. So what this A is? This A is just the representation. This A is just the representation of the sound A. Okay, actually this symbol A has nothing to do with sound A. You can represent this symbol sound A with any symbol that you want. Okay, you can say tomorrow if you woke up early in the morning and say this symbol represents A, nobody is going to what you can say object you. The problem starts with that. If everybody come up with his own symbol or her own symbol for the same sound, the complete universe will go in a chaos. And so standardization is required, and that's why we selected one symbol agreeably and said, okay, we are going to use this symbol as a representation of A. The symbol is not the A. This is what we do generally with the gods. Okay, when we say some Shiva, when we say Brahma, when we say Vishnu, when we say Ganpati, we come up with some symbolism and then we agreed upon that symbolism and we believe that this symbol represents that particular god. But that particular deity or particular things have nothing to do with that symbol. You can another day can use the different symbol to represent the same thing. The same thing, for example, if you go with an engineering sciences, okay, if I draw here something like this, okay, electrical engineer, they know all this. This is the symbol used for resistance. But let's say suppose I want to show the resistance by this symbol, a circle, and in this circle I'm just writing this R on the resistance. Does it going to make any difference in the resistance? No, because this is just the symbol. So how? But we never question our teachers why I should call the symbol A the symbol A and why not B or Z. Because if you ask that question to your teacher, what your teacher will say? You first leave the class because he or she don't have any proof why we should have to call. So what is this? This is a faith, blind faith on our teacher. Whatever our teacher told, it's correct. This we believed in our childhood. Okay, this we believed in our childhood, and such type of things accepted just because of faith. Accepted just because of faith is also the knowledge. Is also the knowledge. And one thing is there: belief and faith is always blind. Okay, you can't have belief or you can't have faith without what you can say uh, mm, so with not without with some doubt. As soon as you have a doubt, as soon as you have some skeptic, as soon as you go on asking for the proof, okay, belief and faith won't stand there. Okay, they must have to be there without any doubt. So you believe there is God, you believe there is no God, you have faith there is God, you have no faith there is God. All these are blind things. You have no proof at all for whatever you believe or whatever you have faith in. But we require to, even our science is based on this belief and faith. Okay, nobody has seen the atom till date, and we simply by observing its what you can say different effects, we believe that atom may be like this, or we have the faith that atom is like that. Okay, now this is the fourth type of knowledge that this is my own classification of knowledge. We are going to bookish classification afterward, and then comes the knowledge which is called as information. Okay, which is called as information. So this knowledge, the fourth type of knowledge is simple knowledge. This knowledge is generally called as the knowledge which is coming from the experience source. Okay, so this is information coming from trusted source. Now, you say, sir, you have just told that belief or faith. Generally, this faith, for example, when I say letter A is letter A, and that is what our teacher told, and we believed it that okay, this symbol represents A, and we still say it is as a, and that I categorize in a faith, and here I am seeing information coming from trusted source is the fourth type of knowledge. So this knowledge is a provable knowledge. Belief and faith is not provable. The experimental knowledge. When you do some experiment, when you do some experiments and you come to some certain type of conclusion, what we do, we write the complete description of that experiments and we give our observations or the information and we pass that information to the other people. So when those people actually get this information, they they actually accept this information as a knowledge. For example, right now we are giving this information here and you are accepting it as a knowledge because you trust that okay, the person who is giving this lecture or this discourse or this conversation, how actually experimented it and gone through these things, and so this information can be considered as a knowledge. Okay, so if you go by our Indian philosophy, this knowledge, which is experiential and experimental in nature, okay, experimental and experiential in nature, is called as a smriti, because this is memory based knowledge. It is memorized first and then dispersed. Okay, this belief and faith and this information from the trusted source, this is called as a Shruti. Shruti means जो हम सुनते हैं, the things that we listen from the trusted source, things which we listen from the trusted source, and many times difficult to prove. Difficult to prove. For example, in Smriti, this belief and faith are difficult to prove. Okay, listen knowledge, heard knowledge. Okay, and this information and coming from the trusted source, this or what you can say, this is provable, but obviously, but this knowledge also called as a paramparagat gyan, or this also paramparagat gyan, or also called as a heuristic knowledge. Heuristic knowledge means the knowledge which is coming from the ancestors. Heuristic knowledge means the knowledge which is coming from the trusted source. Okay, so all our beliefs, all our faith, all the information that we got from scientific people, okay, of our skills and everything that's coming from our ancestors or from our gurus or from our teachers, then that is a Shruti. Okay, and if we experience it by ourselves, and or if we gain it by doing certain type of experiments, we call it as a smriti or memory base or अनुभूति अनुभव का अनुभव बोलते हैं उसको. Okay, so these are the things, or this is what I consider about the knowledge. Now let's go with the book classification of the knowledge. Now what is knowledge? So obviously the definition for the knowledge is that knowing something. Now this something may be an object, a phenomena, by its attributes, operations, inputs, outputs, and thereby its impact on itself as well as the rest of the universe. So if you know something, okay, where by its complete details, means you have the information, complete information, and if you know it means you got the information, but you know when you do some experiments, when you work on it, then only you know it. Unless and until you don't know it, you can't call it as a knowledge. It is an information. For example, let's say suppose you are having uh, some type of uh, say disease, and if you take some medicine, now you know that medicine cure the disease. Till date, you simply know that if you get some such type of disease, you have to take such type of medicine. The information. So knowledge is when you come to know, and this knowing or this knowledge also required to be bound with some sort of asymptotic symbols. Because if you don't give any symbols to the knowledge, you can't say, you can't express it at all. For example, I want to express the sound A in written. How I can go to express the sound A in written? I must have to have some symbol. In English, I am having the alphabet A. Even when I say knowledge and I want to express that knowledge in writing, how I am going to express that knowledge into writing? I must have to have some word. Okay, for example, here we are having this word KNOWLEDGE. We call this word as a knowledge, which represent our knowing. Okay, the knowledge. So that is asymptotic symbol. So we call it as a knowledge. So knowledge means what? Arrangement or a structure with some label which encompass the data set, and gives some meaning to it by correlating it with an object or phenomena is called as an information, or it's a knowledge. So knowledge is singularly or standalone. Must have to correct it here. Okay, it is not information. It is not the information. It it is knowledge. Okay, here we have to say it is knowledge. Knowledge. Because this phenomena. So information, because information will get proven, okay, or when get experienced by the person, it becomes knowledge. And knowledge is singularly or standalone is capable of describing an object or phenomena because knowledge is a higher state of the information. Okay, so let's see what is okay. So what is information? Chalk. Okay, we know the chalk. Now when we use this chalk and we rub this chalk on some surface and write and draw, that we know that the chalk is used for writing and drawing. So we know now the chalk can be used for writing, and you also know what is writing or what is drawing, and this is knowledge. Okay, so I think that you got this thing. Now, just before going to this slide, I have discussed with you the different types of knowledge as per my own knowledge or my own, what you can say, understanding of the subject of knowledge. Now, let's go with the other people, what other people say about the knowledge. Okay. So let's see what other people say about the knowledge. Here, the other people say that knowledge is of five types. Okay, these other people means what? These are scientific people. We say the knowledge is of five types. Generally, these five type of differentiation of knowledge happens in artificial intelligence. First type is the declarative type. When we say something as a proposition, which describe the things, I can say Rama is a strong guy. Okay, this is a declarative sentence. So this describes the Rama. So we can say Ram is the strong guy. Okay, then we say this is a propositional logic. This is the knowledge. Okay, we can write this in a very easy way. That is, if I write like this, strong guy. Ram. What I am having? A propositional logic. I am saying Ram is a strong guy. So this is a declarative sentence. All declarative sentences in a language are called as a declarative knowledge, which actually describes everything. Next knowledge is heuristic. Obviously, heuristic knowledge is the Shruti, means knowledge which is coming from the trusted source. Sometimes heuristic knowledge won't come from any trusted source, it's just the wild guess or some calculated guess. Okay, but then that isn't heuristic knowledge. Okay, knowledge which actually have no base at all, or even if there is a base, that base won't have any proof. It's just accepted. Okay, so that is our heuristic knowledge. Okay, for example, our knowledge that comes, say, when it's use some symbol, okay, this symbol, this is heuristic knowledge. Our teacher told, okay, this is A, and we believe it that this is A. Is there any proof that this is A? No, there is no proof. Can anybody prove that this is A? No, no one can prove that this is A. Okay, I can use this for anything. I can use this for anything. I can change the thing, and that's why in all over the earth you can find different symbols for the same type of sound. Different symbol for the same type of sound. Okay. Now, meta knowledge. Meta knowledge is the knowledge about knowledge. It is too complex if you go spiritually. It is the knowledge what we can say of we call as the source of the entire creation. That is what we call as a meta. But when it comes to artificial intelligence, meta knowledge is the knowledge about knowledge, means this is the control structure of declarative, heuristic, procedural and structural knowledge. This is the actually knowledge behind the knowledge. Okay, so this meta knowledge is about what you know, what is information. So database is information or knowledge, and database management system is the meta knowledge because it controls the entire databases systems. Okay, that is what we want to say. Now, procedural knowledge. Procedural knowledge is all your algorithms are what? Basically the procedures. Okay, so how to do something, when you know that it is a procedure. Sometimes there may be certain rules to follow, then that is a procedure. So all such type of things are what calls a procedural knowledge. Then we are on the structural knowledge, the relationship between entities and concepts. So whenever you are on some table, we are seeing row and column and likewise, and some relationship is there. We can call that as a structural knowledge or conceptual knowledge or entities. Okay. So these are the five knowledge types which are generally promoted and actually used by the artificial intelligence and data science people. Now, some people says knowledge just not of these five types. Knowledge can be divided into these. Sorry. Knowledge can be divided into these seven types of knowledge. The first is explicit or documentable knowledge. Anything that which we can document easily. So anything which is describable, anything which is documentable, anything which is what you can say mathematically computable is called as explicit knowledge. So this knowledge is easy to systematically document and share out at the scale. So all the scientific knowledge is explicit knowledge. It is a structured information. Then comes the implicit or expertise knowledge. What is implicit knowledge? When you get the explicit knowledge, when you get the explicit knowledge and when you practice on that explicit knowledge after some time, for example, suppose you bought a kitchen recipe book and you learn from that recipe book how to cook something. Okay, so for first 2 days you go on referring that explicit knowledge for doing that recipe. After few days you won't require that book anymore because now you become now that knowledge become your smriti. Smriti become what? Smriti. It fitted into your memory. But after that it goes into a new memory, deeper, more deeper, and then you can get a quite what you can say good command on that cooking that you even don't require to look at the food at some moment, and that learn skills, driving and other things, or swimming, boxing, all gain what you can say skills. So these know-how things, okay, that comes with the expertise when you practice something. So this knowledge, implicit means the knowledge we generally told by this one slogan: "Practice makes man perfect." And that knowledge is what called as an implicit knowledge. Then there is a tacit or experiential knowledge, what we call as an enlightenment. You understood something without being said. Feeling, sense, non-transferable, non-storable knowledge. And they are not expressible. Means if you go on explaining it, it is impossible to explain it. Okay, there is no words at all for that. That is a tacit or experiential knowledge. Then you are in the declarative or propositional knowledge. We are already seeing in that 5 where it refers to the static information and facts that are specific to a subject, focuses on who, what, where, and when, likewise that. Okay. Then we have the procedural knowledge or algorithms or how to, that is demonstrated through action or documented through manuals, programs, and planning. After that, we are in the posterior knowledge or self experiences. Now, these self experiences are different than the tacit self experience. This self experiences means when you become the boss of some company, okay, or when you get some new responsibility. The first time you may not work properly, but as soon as you come to know the system, you start getting more expert in that particular thing. So that's subjective type of knowledge. Like ability, they are generally natural abilities like leadership qualities, leader and natural skills. This comes in a posteriori or self-experience knowledge. Okay, the tacit is also self-experience, but it is at a very higher level. Now, the priori or logical or philosophical knowledge, we call this as a Tarka Shastra, the knowledge which actually go by the reasoning only. It says that because B is the, okay, that A is possible if B is like this. That is what we call priori or logical or philosophical knowledge. So these are the 7 types of knowledges which generally some data analytics or data science scientists say that exist. Okay, so this is what regarding the knowledge. Now we are going to see the part which is of your syllabus, that's called the buzzword of data science. So let's see what are the different buzzwords of the data science. I'm not going in deep with these things. What is data science? These are just the definition. It is a multidisciplinary approach using mathematics, statistics, artificial intelligence, computer engineering to study data to gain useful business insights for decision support or decision making system. So data science is basically observing the data and getting some information out of that data, then creating some knowledge out of that information, then using that knowledge to take the future decisions. This is what data science means. Okay. Now what is big data? Big data is the data which is generated over the internet due to its usage, and it includes all type of digital data like social data, machine data, transactional data, anything that is on internet, anything, your photo, your name, your chart, whatever things are there, that is big data. Okay, that require to be analyzed and likewise. Now what is structured data? That is data which is organized within a frame structure of some correlation. Example is your databases, spreadsheets or tables or content management system, CMS. Unstructured data. Unstructured data is disorganized, is very text heavy, without any proper underlying configuration or correlation. Generally, when we see that you are having a folder named say Hollywood movies, okay, this is the similarity to gather all the movies in Hollywood into there. You can do the classification, but you can't do too much of what you can say structuring there. And that is a type of unstructured data. And in this universe, the entire universe, if you go the seeing the data, it is found that 80% or above data in the universe is unstructured by nature. Okay, only 20% or below that is structured data, and whatever data science we are working on is generally deal only with this 20% or below portion of the data which is structured in way, because it is quite difficult to explore the unstructured data. You never come to know exactly what it, so it is difficult, really difficult. Now what is data wrangling? It is the process of collecting raw data, then cleaning it, mapping and storing it in a useful format. So you can say data wrangling is simply which we can call as a process of converting data into an information. Now what is data mining? It is a process of discovering previously unknown patterns in large data set. Okay, you have a lot of data, and from that data you simply draw some particular data. Let's say suppose you are having the data of the all 139 crore people of the India, and the first data that you extracted, the people with the income above 2 lakh rupees, annual income above 2 lakh rupees, and you got thousands and thousands of people there, actually in crores. But now that is not sufficient for you. Now you just want to know how many people inherited the what you can say money in crores from their ancestors, and then that is a particular data. Okay, this is a new what you can say pattern of the data that you discover from the existing data set, and that is what we call as data mining. Now that Now what is data distribution? It is a function. Probability density function is then data distribution is just a function that specifies all the possible values for a variable and also quantities, the relative frequency, probability of how often they occur. Distributions are considered any population that has scattering of the data. So say suppose if you are having say money and the distribution of data is there, then you have to go through the data distribution. Okay. Then what is data analysis? It is a process of inspecting, cleansing, transforming, modeling data with the goal of discovering useful information, informing conclusions, and supporting decision-making system. So data analysis is basically the service, or basically the process of dealing with data to convert it into information and then investigating that information to get more finer information from that which we can call as a knowledge. Okay, so that is what we call as a data analytics. Now, what is data investigation? It is a process to understand the nature of data in a heterogeneous databases. So you are having a different type of data, and you want to find out the relationship between two data sets. Okay, or a relationship between two information. Then that is called as a data investigation. Then comes the infographics. It is a pictorial representation of data and correlations among the data. Okay, so all the charts, graphs, picture, photos, anything which have less textual information and more graphical information is called as infographics in data science. Belief that we are seeing, it is scientifically unproven data or primarily false data or information. It's called as a belief. When you don't know about anything, we generally believe that maybe or may not be like that. So where you will get the more buzzwords? Obviously, you go on the internet, search, and you'll find many buzzwords for the data science. Actually, when I go on the searching on the internet, I found too many buzzwords. But if I go on hiding all the buzzwords here, that may make our presentation too long to be considered as a digestible, and so I just leaving the buzzwords of data science here. Okay, you can go through the internet and you can find the many other buzzwords of the data science. Okay, like Hadoop, internet, deep network, machine learning, artificial intelligence, Python, R, statistical analytics, hypothesis testing, and these that. There are too many data sets. So thank you very much, all the viewers, students. And I think I once again request you to subscribe my YouTube channel Tutor S Rumale and refer my video lectures for your lateral learning. If you like anything from this lecture, from this video, please share it, like it, and thanks once again. Thank you very much.